Well, I'm Ruth Layer Davis, and I always introduce myself by saying I was born in a woman's prison, but I grew up in an insane asylum. Not many people have that background.
The Buffalo State Hospital, or the Buffalo Psychiatric Center, was started just after the Civil War. And there were a number of big public hospitals, mental hospitals, being erected around New York State, and Buffalo lobbied to have one of them built here, and the city agreed to donate 200 acres of land next to the new park, Delaware Park, for the grounds of the hospital. So in 1869, the state legislature approved this site for the new hospital.
This was farm country, and so many of the patients would have been farmers and would know how to deal with the horses and that. And so they would really do the regular farm work. And when you had pigs to take care of, beside of the growing of the vegetables, they really were busy.
Well, the theory was that you would remove someone from the influences that were causing them to be mentally ill. And then in essence, they would cure themselves, that they were put into a comforting environment. And the institution here was really a very home-like place. Each floor was like a little family and had its own dining room, and each person had his individual room. At one point, they gave up having people work on the farm because it was thought to be enforced labor, that they were not being paid. This was said to be treatment, and maybe it was, but the intention was good, but it became evident that these people were working for the good or the financial interests of the institution and not being paid.
We always had somebody, a man who would work in the yard. We had Chris for a long time. In fact, you might have called one patient my nanny. She took care of me. I can remember from a very small that she was there in the house, and well, I guess she made the beds and did things like that, but sort of was in charge of the children. It's interesting to read the history of the treatment and just the fact that they'd gone from the prison sort of feeling to calling it a hospital instead of an asylum. And we didn't call them, we always called them patients. Now they may call them residents. For a while, they were called inmates, and you know, inmates like the prison.
You would be taken from the situation that caused you to be unbalanced, and you would sort of get your way back by a stay in almost a kind of resort.
It really was a delight living there because our house was in a big yard. I don't know, I always said it was a quarter of an acre, but I don't know acres that well. In fact, until the Reese Street playground was built, our yard was the neighborhood playground, and the kids from across the street spent a lot of time. We had a lot of good friends from across the street. And my father, there were two trees that were close enough together that my father put a big pipe across, and put up 2 swings. And let me tell you, 2 swings are better than 1.
The new plans are great. I think this is, been here a long time, and it's wonderful to see some light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, in the preservation of this building. And yeah, it's a very hopeful sign.